I'm in front of the NASA Space Center, Kennedy Space Center.
Hall of Fame, and we'll give you another 6 days to use that second part of the ticket. They're open from 12 to 6 every day. They have space memorabilia. The astronaut floor is a model. The tires have been in space. They've landed the orbiter. Go inside as you're looking at the flight deck. This area, established in the early mid-60s, it was called Mila, Barrett Island Launch Area. They cleared land for roads and necessities or buildings, and it developed only about 6,000 acres. So solar arrays, that's just a solar array, and then the Soyuz is pointing at you. Go to the early space exploration building, and you can see a model of the Russian vehicle. Right, it's the first thing you see when you walk in the door. It's only a 3-man spacecraft. If the orbiter had arrived, it parks at the front of the space station at that other black object. That's a pressurized mating adapter.
Different kind of launching pads.
Actually, one of the astronauts that lost his life was from Lubbock, and one of the other husbands, he was from Amarillo. So there are statues in both cities pointing at each other, and we saw it breaking up over us.
Yeah, I've had people that said they've seen it, heard it, sometimes they've called NASA to come get pieces off their property.
Yeah, I teach meteorology at Texas Tech. I went in and I pulled up the radars.
Removed. They just scrapped all the metal. They finished up probably about 3 or 4 months ago. And that stuff wasn't there during Apollo. We don't need it if we're going back to rockets. They're planning to look over to the right of the vehicle assembly building. You can see what they call the mobile launch tower, and it's built on a new platform. That's the one that Constellation was going to use. Well, now the new Space Launch System's going to use that. So we'll build rockets on it in the vehicle assembly building and take it out of the pad just like we did during Apollo. Those lightning arresters are 600 feet. They're very sophisticated because just before the last launch of Atlantis, we had some pretty bad weather. Within a third of the mile, there was a lightning strike very close to pad A and B. And thanks to that system, we were able to clear the pad and clear that launch within 4 hours and kept it on track. And they said that was a really cool piece of equipment that we have added that really helped out, because pad A, which is 1.6 miles from it, that's 6 miles from here, it has just a single lightning rod on the top of it, but that's all you needed to protect the space shuttle. They don't have any money to remove the fixed and rotating server structure either, so they're mothballing the pad right at this moment. And in possibility, it could be modified and use those towers again in something else. And this is, like I said, 6 miles from A. This was a viewing area for the shuttle launches. In the beginning, it was car passes. They gave them out through public affairs. 9/11 took the car pass away, and then you had to buy a ticket to come on the bus to come and watch it with us. And this, after we had lost Columbia, they added these bleachers out here, and then we had NASA guests here, but the big VIP here is Saturn V, and all the rest were general public like you. And the last 3 launches were full lottery system, because they used to randomly pull everybody off the web and by phone to get tickets. Once they did the lottery system, you just had to be lucky to be pulled and chosen. But the price pretty much was what you paid today to come out to this location. And we did come out and watch the Delta II. They charged $20 for the ticket. It's scrubbed. It's not refundable. And the next time, a couple of days later, we got off the pad. They didn't watch from here. They actually watched out at Cars Park, which is right across the river on Merritt Island. And we got off.
So supported the space shuttle and also the International Space Station programs. Cryogenic testing facility. The fuels we use are cryogenic, means they're very, very cold. Liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen, refined kerosene, RP1. Then you get to use liquid nitrogen here. And if you don't leave them in a liquid form and they go back to gaseous form, you know how big the external tank would have been? 700 times larger than it originally was. That would have never worked. Parachute refurbishment facility just to the left. And they want to process Orion in the same location. They've refurbished that whole clean room. Silver door up off the ground, no stairs. Crew transport vehicle went to the landing strip, picked up the astronauts, raised again to the medical facility. It's that first set of windows on the 3rd floor is where the apartments would be. In that little open area, that's where the astronaut van would pull in. Everybody would walk out in their special suits. Nothing. Because the vulture will steal fresh meat from the eagles will steal fresh meat. It's fresh. If it's not fresh, they're not going to steal it. They're not refeed. Exit the door with a 6 foot of clearance. As they exit the door, they put this little lighting right on, right here at the top of the launch umbilical tower. Almost can't even see it. Nothing like what we use today. Saturn 1B is on this platform. They built a special pedestal for it to stand on because it's not as tall as Saturn V. They called it the milk stool. So the very top swing arm can be right to the capsule. Then we made some modifications. We put space shuttles on these same platforms. Instead of one big hole, it had to be 3 holes. One for each booster, one for the 3 main engines. It's 184 feet. It's half the size of Saturn V. Still produced almost the same amount of power. How do we do that? Solid fuel. Your solid fuel boosters are 75-80% of thrust. What is that? Aluminum powder, ammonium perchlorate, iron oxide is the main components. Go back on spaceflight now. Pull up the video replays from launch. Pull the ones off the boosters. You can see the curvature of the Earth. It's not space, but you can see the curvature of the Earth. The external tank went in space. There's no way to save it that part. Travel the Earth with the gravitational pull and no power. Orbiting, allowed you to call it an orbiter, and named it after great ships of exploration. And used the same crawler transporters all these years. We'll see both of those today. Vehicle assembly building. 525 feet. 160 meters of ground. The floor is 8 feet thick. There's over 4,000 steel pilings. Some had to be driven to the bedrock surface. What do you put on those cradles? External tanks. And then you bring it in by this big barge here called the Pegasus. Mushu plant, New Orleans, Louisiana. They're shut down. There's no more external tanks. We'll use the last one with Atlantis. They're done. They're gone. There's not a single one left. We'd love to see the shuttle fly again. It's not going to happen. They're still working. One thing they haven't taken off of Atlantis, the orbital maneuvering system pods, and I know they've been working on stuff like that. They've been making everybody.
Tracks. Each of those tracks have 57 cleats, each weighing a ton. The crawler carries 9 million pounds of level
Drops back down, crawls off from underneath, just like a forklift would. All your Saturn V rockets launched here from Apollo 8 to 17, except Apollo 10 launched at Pad B. 12 men touched the moon surface here from May. Skylab, and lots of space shuttles went from here. 6 camera hills in the pits. Lots of cameras all around the pad. Extra cameras will be set up for launch. Rotating service structure on the left, always covering the orbiter. You can see the little opening at the top for the nose. Light doors in the middle is clean room for cargo. Underneath the door, a notch for the tail. Big, thick service structure. That white box is called the white room. Meets right to the door of the orbiter at the 195-foot level. Just above it's the BD cap. Pass the medical exam. You're sick? Nope, you didn't get to see him. These are no more than 4 people. These big balls are fuels. Liquid hydrogen in the first ball. Liquid oxygen's on the other side of the pad. Load that in. single 80-foot lighting arrestor on the pad. Water tower would hold 300,000 gallons. The pipe holds another 100,000. Let the water go. Over the platform, into the flame trench. We'll see the opening of the flame trench. It's 42 feet deep, 450 feet in length. We're all talking like 15 seconds before launch. You have to absorb the noise. The space shuttle could have shaken to pieces. Cracked windows in people's houses 15, 20 miles away. 6,000 to 8,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. That white cloud is steep. Apollo used 200,000 gallons. They cracked windows a few times. They should have used lubrication, and what that's going to do is get you down to under the pad so you can hit the slide, and you'd be under the pad in the rubber board. February 1st, 2003, we lose Columbia.
And stop. Same button. Recording.
Welcome to the Apollo Saturn V Center. Our presentation will begin in a few short moments.
Indicates that all aspects are ready. Mr. Remote is ready, spacecraft ready. Final check of emergency detection system. That light also on. First stage preparations are completed. All systems prepared. Okay. Okay, now going. We're on. Ready to go to contact. Stand by order. Okay, you're on. All systems go. T-minus 45 seconds and counting. First stage oxygen tank has been pressurized and the pressure is still building up.
Then You guys need a snack?
Sebastian, David.
Others.